What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another edition of Unwind with Raya. I've got my mint tea, of course, because it's delicious. It's a Thursday night. Hopefully everything looks good. Two things I learned from last stream. A, make sure we're not muted for the first 15 minutes. Luckily, I didn't say anything important, so we're good. And the other thing is, I'm going to try to do a better job reading chat because I'm still getting used to everything and figuring out kind of a cool way to do this. The way my setup is, I got my camera in front and I've got my computer over here, so it kind of like when I get lost in a story like you've seen last time, I forget to kind of look this way. So I'll try my best to keep an eye on it in case you guys chime in and chat. But I figured today is a Thursday evening, very low key, very chill. I know we always do chill, but this is going to be even more chill. Like today, we don't even really have a theme. It's just going to be chatting about life and just spending a little bit, just hanging out. So think of this as like a good little after work, pre-bed, relaxation time. So wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, kind of dim the lights, maybe light a candle, make it smell good, maybe open the windows if it's warm enough, get cozy. Obviously, if you're driving, don't dim the lights. Keep those pretty bright. But yeah, so this will be just kind of free flowing. If you guys come through and chime in chat, tell me how your day went. Tell me how your week's going. We're at the end of the week, which is always a good thing. Thursday nights are my favorite nights, actually. Well, besides Sunday nights. Thursday nights are like top tier in terms of weeks. They just have a certain vibe, But before we get into that, let's see, how have you been since I last saw you? Pull up plop yourself right down on the sofa. I got plenty of blankets, so wrap yourself in the blankets. Kind of just get cozy. Maybe close your eyes. Question, is my voice soothing at all? Because I really don't know. I've listened to my voice so much, on my music and stuff, that it's almost, I don't register it. So let me know what you think. Maybe it's soothing, maybe it's not. I don't know. I remember my dad he has a really soothing voice, and he was in the radio, he worked in the radio, as a, what's the word? Kind of he used his voice on the radio, I guess. I don't know what that's called. A disc jockey? Is that still a thing? A DJ? I don't know. But I just remember hearing his voice on the radio, and it was so good. It was such a good radio voice. And I don't know if voices are hereditary, but I like to think so. I like to think that I got a good voice from him, but maybe I don't. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody really, I guess I never really asked somebody oh, what's my voice sound like to you? Is it weird? Is it nerdy? Is it calm? Is it a whole vibe? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, get cozy. I'm gonna do the same. Since I saw you last, let's see what happened. So last time we talked about our a pretty influential relationship in my life, right? Since then, I've had some really weird dreams. 9 times out of 10, my dreams are about people that I know, so it makes it kind of weird. Or, I mean, not even people that I know, just people. either my friends or my family or acquaintances, or like a lot of times it's just like whoever's Instagram I just saw, like the picture before I go to bed. Like, it's wild. I can not think of like a person for a week, and then as soon as I like look at their Instagram, like if I do that right before bed, I'll have a dream about them like that night, which is really weird and bad sometimes, because it's like, then you know how dreams go. If you start dreaming about someone, you guts to get a crush on them. Automatic. Like, I don't make the rules of that game. It's just, obviously, if I close my eyes and then it goes dark, and then the next thing I see is your face, and I hear your voice in the nighttime, I'm gonna get a crush. I'm gonna develop a crush. That's gonna happen. We all know how it goes. Sometimes you dream about like a celebrity, and then that celebrity just becomes your celebrity crush. I'm not saying it's happened to me, but it's happened to me. Happens to me daily, pretty much. I mean, why do you think I had an Allison Brie phase? Obviously, dreaming. But yeah, so I've been having some kind of weird dreams. Like, they've been, usually my dreams are like happy and happy-go-lucky, like light and peppy, and like, oh, we have to go to the grocery store and pick up Cadbury eggs for Easter. Come on, let's go, gang. And it's like me and like a friend I knew in 4th grade that I don't even speak to anymore. And we're just like off finding Cadbury eggs. But on the way, we find like, we find some Hostess cupcakes that are like giving us bad vibes. And, we got to defeat them. And, here comes my 5th grade teacher. And then some dude who works at the produce aisle in Publix. And then we're all just like a gang now. We're just like fighting the Hostess. And that makes for a really weird Wednesday morning. Especially when you see the guy that works at Publix and you're like, do I tell him that we got to take out these cupcakes here soon? Or like, you just let it play out? I don't know. I don't know what the best situation is. But yeah, I develop crushes from my dreams all the time. Well, not all the time, but like pretty regularly. So there's that. It's getting warmer down here, so I've been starting to get a little more tired more easily. Just because, like, I don't know how many of you guys work outside, but when you work outside, like, your body has to adjust to the temperature. At least mine does. So like when it starts getting warmer, I start feeling sluggish. Like I start feeling body parts that I haven't felt since like the end of fall, pretty much. Because when it's cold, I don't know what it is, but you're not thawed out. You're just like, you don't even think about your lung capacity because you don't really have to. You're not ever straining yourself. But like as soon as that temperature starts creeping up and you start sweating a little bit more, you start like realizing, oh, that's right, I'm moving my body outside. Like I gotta limit, I gotta ease into it, condition myself into it. So I've been drinking a little bit more water and doing a little bit more stretching. But so that's been fun. I'm in like episode 7 of Goblin, and so far it's pretty good. But I will say I accidentally listened to the soundtrack to Encounter. Now, I don't know if y'all have seen the K-drama Encounter. Shout out to my sister Sam. She put me onto this. It is one of the best dramas I've ever seen. It's like got this perfect vibe, this perfect mood throughout the whole show. it's cozy, but it's like no spoilers, but they go to Cuba for a little bit, and there's that like island vibe in it, and then there's also that like Seoul, like Korea vibe in it, and the two leads are like pretty famous like actors, but it's so well done, and it's like I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. Like right when I finished it, I wanted to watch it again, and that's rare because those things are like 16 episodes, like an hour each. Like they're each like movies. So when you want to like invest 16 hours back to back, that's when you know it's a good one. But yeah, so I was listening to that as like the sun was going down when I was driving back to work after a job site, and it put me in my feels. So if you ever are on that Korean drama kick and you need a good one, watch Encounter. Trust me on that. But good to see we're not muted. That's always good. So what else? Oh, today I saw the most lovely thing I've seen in a long time. So on that same drive back to work, I was driving along and I stopped at this red light behind this car, and for some reason I like just happened to glance in like their rear window, I guess, and I could see through. And the passenger, whoever's in the passenger seat, like leaned their head on the driver's shoulder, and then the driver like did the same thing like that, and they just held like that for 20-30 seconds, and that was so adorable to me, because I don't know what their relationship is. I don't know how far along they are or where they're at, but just to see that, I mean, typically what do you see when you're driving next to somebody? You see the passenger sitting like that and the driver sitting like that. Like, for the most part, it's kind of just sad. It's, I don't know. You never really catch too many interactions between people like that while you're driving. And I know, we're only getting a slice, like a second, 20 seconds here and there of people, and like during their drive, they could have a bunch of these moments, but it was cool to see just one right in front of my eyes. Like, it was after work. I like to picture and like make stories up for what they were doing, but I picture they were like, he had just picked her up from work, and like, actually I couldn't tell if it was a guy and a girl. It could have been two guys, it could have been two girls, I don't know, I don't judge, but it was like the passenger like rested like that, like maybe just got off of work, and the driver picked them up, and they just had that moment, just like, hey, I got you, we're here, we're in this moment, it's Thursday evening, I got you, I love you, right? And then they took a right into Target, so they about to spend $200 on things they don't need, but at least they have each other, right? At least there's love. I mean, you can buy love at Target. You for sure can, in the form of trinkets and like decorations for holidays that are way too early. Like, I'm pretty sure they already got 4th of July decorations out, and it's the end of March. Matter of fact, they probably got Halloween. Target got everything. But so yeah, that was adorable. And now it's actually, and I grilled some burgers. Nothing better than a grilled burger. Like, it's so delicious. I was just craving one, so I fired up the grill, and it was beautiful. I had the fire going, and it was like kind of chilly. It actually, at the end of the day, when the sun was going down, it hit like maybe 65 degrees. Made the whole world, like whole areas, feel like fall. Like, you know, that like kind of cool, like you gotta wear a jacket, but like you're not cold, you're just like cool. Maybe you have the windows like halfway down, but not all the way up, not all the way down. It's just kind of like that medium vibe. It felt a lot like mid-October. And that's like one of my favorite feelings. So it was cool to just feel that. You ever like have those days that feel like other days? Like those days that like you could have a spring day that feels like exactly like fall. Or like even the winter, you have days that feel like fall or spring. Summer, you have summer days that feel like spring, right? You have the like unseasonably like cool day where it kind of reminds you of spring. Those are some of my favorite days. But what I seem to feel it the most is like spring and fall, obviously, because they're that same kind of like same temperature range, I guess. So when it's like a cooler spring day, it feels a lot like fall. And then I get triggered to watch like Gilmore Girls or Halloween movies or like scary movies and just get cozy and drink mint tea and read Tolstoy. But yeah, so now it's Thursday evening, and like I said, Thursday evenings are my second favorite day of the week. Because Thursday evenings, in my opinion, are better than Friday evenings. Right? I know it's a hot take. I know. I'm aware. But Thursday evenings are everything Friday evenings wish they could be. Like Friday evenings, you're doing a thing, right? You're going out, you're seeing your people, everyone kind of agreed. It's somewhere along the lines, okay, 5:00 p.m. works off. So we're going to see each other in a few hours. We're going to go out. We're going to do the thing, right? But Thursday evening, you ain't got to see anybody Thursday evening, right? But Thursday evening's the day where you're looking forward to doing the thing. And in my opinion, looking forward to the thing is 9 times out of 10 better than the thing itself. Or no, that's a bad way to put it. I guess the anticipation of whatever fun event you're doing is like it adds so much richness to the experience itself. I'm not gonna say it's better, but it's like that's at least more than half the enjoyment for me. Is like the build up is like, okay, Friday evening after work, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna see them, and I'm gonna do all this, and then you're just excited on Friday evening, and that carries on into or Thursday evening, and then that carries over to Friday morning, right? And then Friday evening comes, and you cancel all your plans, and you just stay in and you watch Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So, but Thursday evenings are the best. Tuesday evenings are the worst. Tuesday evenings have the absolute worst vibes. Like, Tuesday evenings feel like, what's a good way to put this? Like straight hot garbage. Like Tuesday evenings should be garbage nights for everybody. What good happens on a Tuesday evening? You tell me. It's like, I don't even know. There's nothing fun about a Tuesday evening? Those are usually evenings I go to bed by like 8 p.m. I'm out just so I can fast forward. You know, ain't nobody trying to be awake on a Tuesday evening. What are you gonna do? Like, watch the news on a Tuesday? Like, ugh. I don't like it. Tuesday evenings are like the 7th grade of the week. Just utterly forgettable. Wish they kind of didn't exist, but you gotta have them, to progress. Somehow you're like, I don't know, but I don't know. But no, it's been a fun week. I hope you guys have been having a good week. Yeah, comment below and let me know if it's been a tough week, if it's been a good week, if it's been an okay week. Those are good too. Those are fine. Having a so-so week, that's probably what I would describe mine as. Is getting too cozy. Excuse me. I would describe this as a so-so week. Nothing too amazing has happened. Nothing too terrible has happened. It's just kind of, which is okay. I did have some more mint ice cream the other day. I picked some up from the store. It's so good. You're missing out. You're missing out if you're not eating it. Nick, I know it's so good, bruh. My brother does not mess with mint ice cream, but it is so delicious. It don't taste like toothpaste. It tastes like heaven. It's like if a bunch of cows were like celebrating Christmas, right? And the milk that you extract from them goes straight into an ice cream maker. Throw some chocolate chips in there. That's what mint ice cream is like. Just happy, Christmassy cows singing Mariah Carey, all in harmony. Just picture that. Somewhere in Sweden, probably. Just the happiest cows. Just the mintiest of milk. Too good. But yeah. What'd you guys think about the relationship stuff? The talking? That, I'm sure a few of you saw a different side of me with that one. But I'm glad to share it, because I don't know. Yeah, we all go through these kind of things. It's like we all have heartbreak. We all have things we wish we would have done or said or, figured out earlier. So it's cool to, if you hear that and, I don't know, you could think nothing of it, or you could, kind of feel like you're not so strange, I guess, or you feel like it's okay, because all of us go through that, right? When I hear someone talk about their relationship stuff, especially like a streamer or something, it's like it kind of resonates, because it's like, oh yeah, it's not just me. Everyone has similar situations, or if not directly similar, just like pretty close to. Everyone can relate to a heartache at 20. I think we've all had that in some form or another. But Yeah. So I've been dreaming a lot. It's so tough. Like, do you dream every night? I mean, I know. I guess a better question is, do you remember your dreams every night? Because I do. I dream. I, I think like I read somewhere that we all dream multiple times a night or something like that. But like most of us don't remember them. But I remember so many of my dreams. It'd be one of those things where I'll go to bed tonight, and okay, so I wake up like 3 or 4 times a night. So after every, it's working. That tea is working, boy. So I'll go to bed, and I'll wake up like 3 or 4 times every night, and after every time I wake up, I'll remember like the dream I just had. So there'll be nights where I'll remember 4 of my dreams. It's more rare that I don't remember a dream like during a given night, and I even like a lot of times like I'll write it down like my dream log or whatever just to have it and just to see what it's like, because sometimes it's fun to read back on what my dreams were, and like it's very like heavily influenced by the media I'm like consuming at that time. So it's like I'll look back a year ago and like I'll have like a slew of dreams about like uh Detective Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I was really really into that show at that time, right? So like she'd be showing up in my dreams a few times. I'm like, it's just funny. It's almost like a timestamp on what I was into at the time or who I was seeing. Like a lot of times, if there's somebody I'm crushing at that time, like a real person, they'll show up in my dreams a lot. And that is actually really tough because it makes you, at least it makes me like feel more, not intimate, but like it makes me feel closer to them than like we really are, like almost parasocially. But it also affects me because a lot of times, you ever have those dreams where like you can't tell, like when you wake up, you can't tell, did that really happen? Or like you'll be like going on later that day or later that week, and you'll be like, wait, did I text that person in real life or did I text them in the dream? And you go back to your text and you never sent it, like it was a dream, right? So that'll happen all the time when I'm like crushing on somebody and they show up in my dreams a few times. I'll be like sitting there thinking, did we have a conversation about Cheetos at 2 a.m.? Did we do that? And then I'll like second guess myself and I'm like, and then like usually like I'll text the person and be like, did we have this conversation? And most of the time it's no, but every once in a while it's yes. And then I'm like, that's even more confusing because it's like, dang, that felt so real. I feel like I've just been incepted. Like now I get why Inception was such a big hit. It's like, oh, that's a fact. You can make me believe anything in my dream. Like there have been some times, boy, where it's almost got me in trouble. Like certain situations, I'm not gonna get like too specific with it because I'm pretty sure that person's gonna be watching, but more or less, I dreamt that I had said something to her, and it was like pretty meaningful, pretty like, you know, what's the word? Sentimental. Like I was speaking from the heart, and it felt so real that when I like woke up and like let time pass, like I didn't really like remember that I texted this, but I remembered I've said it to her, right? And then days go by and she never acknowledges it, and I'm just like what the heck? Like I poured my heart out to you, and we're just gonna glaze over the fact that I did this. Like we're just gonna move on. We're not gonna address it. And then for some reason I go over like the text Or like maybe we had a conversation and like I realized, oh wait, no. We never, something triggered it and it was like, oh, that was a dream. I literally dreamt that I did this. And that is so problematic because it's like I was here like not getting mad, but like just like starting to like get impatient. Like, well, why? We're gonna act like I never said this. When it turns out I never said it. Like, ooh, like, and then I found like if I'm comfortable enough with the person, I'll tell them, I'll let them know like, hey, like it's dumb, but I dreamt this, and it's like my bad, that's not on you. Like I get it now when people have dreams of other people and like they start getting suspicious or stuff because it's like they feel so real. So real. So yeah. Those two things get me all the time. It's if I gotta stop going on Instagram at the end of the night. That's probably rule number one. Because I kid you not. Like if I see a post or if I'm like on somebody's story, like the last one I see or like the last one that connects with me, I'm gonna dream about you. 100%. It happens with such frequency that it's like, it's almost annoying because I've had to catch myself a few times while I'm looking at this story and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna dream about this person. I know it. Then lo and behold, I put my phone on the charger, put it away, close my eyes, fall asleep in 5-10 minutes, and there they are. There they are. And we're at a Publix again, and no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, dreams, man, they're so crazy. Do you remember your dreams? Do you have bad dreams? Do you have nightmares? Do you have good dreams? I only have bad dreams every once in a while. And it's usually after either A, I watch a scary movie, or B, I am like down that Wikipedia like serial killer / like that weird hole that you get into after you've seen like an episode of Criminal Minds or after somebody mentions like some serial killer from the past. It's like you inevitably go to the Wikipedia of that person or that killer, and then you're like, ooh, that's pretty brutal. And then there'll be like a little tab section like, oh, similar to, or people also look up, and you're like, And you click on that, obviously, and then you're like, dang, that's a lot of murders. I wonder who had the most murders. And then that leads you to a section, and then you're like in a rabbit hole. You just keep going, and somehow you end up looking up like just some of the craziest stats from like 1909 Victoria, like England. And you're like, what the heck? Where am I? I need to cut it. I need to stop this right now. And then after I do it for probably another 2 more hours, I start feeling really weird. And then usually I have to like watch like Coco or some like Disney movie to like get out of that funk. Cause remember me. Like you gotta like you gotta dilute that creepiness with something good. And Coco's my favorite. So once I get in that rabbit hole, those bad dreams are coming. I know it. And it's not usually like serial killer dreams, but it's like bad vibe dreams. Like you wake up and you're just like, ones that like pretty much as soon as I wake up, I like look in the corners of my room, just like checking, just like, okay, letting my eyes adjust. And then more often than not, I'll call my dog up under the bed and just like bear hug him and snuggle with him for till I fall back asleep. Which is why I highly recommend getting a puppy or getting a dog. Obviously, if you're like able to take care of it, because it's just a lot of responsibility. It's like having not a kid, but like kid adjacent. You know what I mean? But it's just so comforting to have a little puppy up there. Because there've been times in the past where like I didn't have a dog and I would have these dreams, and then it's just like you like alone in your room, and you're just sitting there in the dark, just like trying to calm yourself down, just trying to be like, no, it's not real. It's not real. That's a goblin. That's a dream I had. Doesn't exist. But it's so much easier when I can call my pup up and be like, hey, come snuggle, come here. He'll take all the snuggles, so it's like I'll have him for like 15, 20 minutes, so I can like just kind of almost ground myself, like cling to something real, right? And something warm and something fuzzy, and just kind of reset. And he always helps me drift off. He heard me say snuggle, I think, because here he comes. But yeah, I was talking about you, puppy. He's my bad dream warder offer. It's my little talisman. But yeah, definitely lay off. That's why I don't like scary movies very much, actually, because they affect me. I'm sure this is pretty common. Like I was talking to my brother, and he said he actually doesn't dream very much, or he doesn't remember the dreams, so he can watch all the scary movies he wants, and he doesn't have bad dreams or nightmares. And that like blew my mind, because I can't do that. I found out, I can't remember, I think the first one I remember was when I watched Blair Witch. I was pretty young, probably too young, but I watched it, and that same night I just had a terrible dream, like a terrible nightmare that like it stuck with me for quite a while. And ever since then, I kind of was able to like recognize. So like I would watch like The Hills Have Eyes. That night I would have a terrible dream. I watched Final Destination. That night I had a terrible dream. I watched It. That night, terrible dream. Watched Insidious. That night, not that bad of a dream. Patrick Wilson was still in it, obviously, but not that bad of a dream. I liked Insidious. That's a good one. And Sinister. Those two really good. Let me check the sound real quick. That's still good. I think that's. It just sounded weird to me for a second. But let's go with it. So I knew pretty early on that scary movies and I, unless I want to have some nightmares, wasn't gonna work out. So what I do now is, like, if I'm ever like in the mood to watch a bunch of scary movies or just a scary movie, I'll watch a bunch. Like I'll back to back to back. Like I did it last fall where I watched Halloween, Jeepers Creepers, Legally Blonde, just all the scary ones, right? 'Cause law school, that's a nightmare. But what else? Wolf of Wall Street, terrifying because there's a whole lot of numbers. Moneyball, numbers, getting a theme. It's like, that's terrifying to me. Jeepers Creepers 2, House of Wax, Parent Trap, because like twins freak me out. There's 2 of you. Don't even get me started on triplets. There's 3 of you. How in the How can there be 3 of you? Like I'm pretty good at science, right? How can there be 3? Anyways, but yeah, I'll triple up on the scary movies when I'm feeling it, because I know it's a given. I'm gonna have a bad dream, right? So I'll just let it happen. I'll just be like, you know what? Yep, this is gonna be. We're gonna have just a terrible dream for tonight, but it can't compound, right? Like if I did that and spread it out throughout the week, I would have a bad dream every single night. But this way, get it all out in one night and just know it's gonna be bad. But yeah. Ooh. What's your favorite scary movie of all time? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, because I already know mine. You got it? Mine is The Strangers. Or Strangers. I can't remember if there's a the on it, like Google Dolls, but Strangers. The Strangers, that's my favorite. Like, it is so... Oh my goodness. Man, we getting real cozy. It's so well made and so subtle that it's absolutely terrifying. Like, the way they do it is just amazing. And that scene where she's in the kitchen or whatever room, and you just see the guy come out of the shadows like that. Iconic. Like, that is so good. Man, I love that movie. That one I try to watch at least once a year, but usually it's about 2 or 3 times a year, because outside of being a scary movie, it's just a good movie. But oh man, I hope that makes you yawn. But I remember watching an episode of Luther with Idris Elba, and one of the episodes they caught the killer, because apparently, I don't know how true this is, but when you yawn, you know how that contagious, yawning is contagious. Well, in the show, they claim that like when you yawn, if the other person doesn't yawn, they're a psychopath. Like they don't have like empathy or something like some emotion that causes you to mimic the yawning or whatever. And that's how they found the killer. So if any of you out there didn't yawn, you might. Yeah, I'm not saying A plus B equals C, but if then that. If then that. So, but no, I watched Carrie for the first time, the old one, last year, and that's a really well made movie too. Like, that one holds up. I can't remember if it was made in the 70s or 80s. I think it was the 70s. That one with, I think it's Sissy Spacek. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but that one was really good. I watched that in 2022, and that still holds up as like just a well-made movie, just a good, engaging, thought-provoking movie with a banging soundtrack. Actually, like, that soundtrack goes harder than it needs to. Like, it did not need to come with that heat, but it did. It's so good. I'm really surprised I hadn't watched it earlier. It's not necessarily scary. It's just kind of like wild. So Carrie, Strangers. There's one more that's like probably. Oh, what's that one? I don't remember the name, but it's that one where they have the haunted. Is it The Haunting? Hold up, let me Google it, because it's that one where I remember I started watching it because I saw a clip online of. Ooh, is this not The Haunting? I'm pretty sure Patrick Wilson's in this one too, where he's like a exorcist. The Conjuring. Yeah, boy. The Conjuring is the one I'm thinking of. That one, I saw a clip of, that, I don't know if you've seen it, but that part where she's outside, she's like folding or like unpinning the laundry or whatever, and it's really windy, and the wind blows the cloth or the sheet off the line and like hits the ghost or the spirit or whatever, and it like forms the outline and then flies off. Like, that's such a cool part. And I saw that a clip online. I was like, oh, I gotta watch that immediately. And I watched it, and I really like that one too. That one has just they did a well. It was just well done too, where it's like it really sucks you into that world, and you really start to like almost feel it. Like that one. And I love Insidious, and I love Sinister. Those are probably like, and I really like Scream, but that's just for nostalgia. So yeah, it's quite a few actually. That's more than I thought. Yeah, I mean, I had bad dreams after all of them, but worth it. Because honestly, I'm more of a rom-com kind of guy. I mean, I like The Notebook. What can I say? I like anything with Matthew McConaughey. I like Kate Hudson. I really do. I like anything quirky. I like that. Like my favorite vibe is like that late 90s, early 2000s rom-com. It's like either set in New York or Chicago, where it's like got that that opening where they're walking down the sidewalk, and you don't know what's gonna happen, but you do know what's gonna happen. And it's like she's got to find love in this city, and she doesn't know where to look, so she writes a fake article in her newspaper to and then Matthew McConaughey ends up reading it, and he's like, I've got an idea. Right? Let me make a bet. There's always a bet. There's always a bet involved. And at the end, it gets found out, and then they're gonna break up. But turns out love is greater than all, right? But no, you placed a bet on me without me knowing. You could have just told me about it. We would have won the bet together and been in love. That's all I think. It's like, no, just tell me. We can fool your friends, make the money, and be Gucci. So we have a fake fight at the end of this. Like, so what? Worth it. But I love that, like, early 2000s, like, this will be an everlasting love for you. Like it always has that song as like the opening or the outro. Like it's always involved. That's. Uh, I mean, J Lo's probably in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love a good J Lo rom com. I'm a sucker for a J Lo rom com, hands down. You just know by the end of it, you're gonna learn some things. You're gonna learn some things about yourself, good or bad. Those are like the peak vibes. Like those are probably my favorite. Yeah, if I had to choose, just like comfort movies, comfort vibe is like any early 2000s rom com set in New York or Manhattan. Like I love those. So if you know any that I haven't mentioned, I guess I really haven't mentioned any, but How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Made in Manhattan, Maid of Honor. That's a little later. May the Force be with you. 13 going on 30. Actually, I don't like Jennifer Garner. I don't vibe with her at all. So nothing with her, okay? Scratch that. Um, what's that one with Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler, where he's got like that super thick Irish or Scottish accent? Irish? P.S. I Love You. That's a vibe. I know that one's technically not. Well, does it start in New York? I don't know. There's a big city in it, but that's one I'd like. So more along that. Obviously, anything Nicholas Sparks. You know, I go back and forth on him because it's like, yes, I am a sucker for that because it hits a certain part of your heart, just a certain nerve that some movies just don't. You know, yes, I wish there was much more color in it. Like I can't stand. I can't stand, but like I don't. This might be a hot take too. I'm not a fan of like all white casts. Like I'm just like I don't trust it. Just like in real life, if it's like an all white group, I'm not about it. Like even this is just the truth. If I'm like on like a dating app or whatever, and I see a girl and she's got like a group of friends around her, if they're all white, it ain't all right. No, it's just like I don't know. It's like it's just so weird to me. And obviously they could be a great person. Like I'm not judging. Like it's not. It's just like what my immediate brain like goes to. It's like, well, dang, ain't no color. Like I don't trust it. I'm wary of it because it's like, especially me being mixed. It's like, nah. I love. I don't know. I know not everyone. I know different areas are different. Like, but like if you're in a big city, I just like I don't know. Like if I look at my friend group, it's all types, right? And like I don't know. That's just maybe it's just because that's way more comfortable to me. That makes more sense to my head than like I don't know. But like Nicholas Sparks is just like all white, and it's like you couldn't. Dang. But that being said, I love Dear John. That one makes me cry every time. I love The Notebook. That one I shouldn't have watched it at such an impressionable age, because that one stays with me. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it probably more than I've seen any other movie ever made. And I'm not saying it's like the greatest movie of all time, but like it has that specific feel that just feels so good. Like I put it on a Sunday evening and I just can fall asleep to it, or I can, like, it just makes the day a whole vibe. Like ending the night like that is my favorite. But I love the Lucky One. I love a day, not a day to remember. Have faith in me. A walk to remember. That one. I love that one. And I know he's got a few more. The Best of Me. I love The Best of Me. James Marsden and, is that Michelle Monaghan? I love that one. The Choice. I even love The Choice. Who else saw The Choice? Very few people saw The Choice, I think. But that one is, I love that one too. I mean, 100% white, but I do love that one. I know there are a few, like I think there's like a black couple and that's it. But maybe a Puerto Rican person shows up. I don't remember, but I like that one. It's like those Nicholas Sparks movies just have this vibe. Hey, leave a comment below if you are a Nicholas Sparks fan, if you've either read the books or watched the movies. What's your favorite one? What's your favorite one? Now, we're going to put The Notebook for me at the tippy top because that's just a sentimental one for me. But if it's not The Notebook, all right, just we can't count that one because it's too high up. With all the rest, I'm going to have to say Dear John. Dear John. I'm not even the biggest Channing Tatum fan, but something about that movie gets me. Like the soundtrack, that soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time because it's like very low key. They've got some like really cool like indie just songs on there. And actually, fun fact, I remember I was in Italy actually, at a beach in Italy, and I was listening to that soundtrack, and I remember I was getting on a train to go back to the city, to Rome, and I had that playing, and it was just the perfect vibe. Because I had like the train station was like right near the beach, so you could hear like the waves in the distance, and you could like still smell the sea. And like Dear John's a very coastal heavy movie, right? And so those two mixed together, and just the soundtrack playing and all the music, and although I skipped the 311 song, I'm doing more singing on this than I thought I would, but hopefully you enjoy it. But yeah, that soundtrack was playing, and I was like just waiting for the train in this coastal little town in Italy, and it was just perfect. You know those songs or albums or soundtracks that you listen at the perfect time. Just they make the moment or the time that you're experiencing life just that much better. Like just take it to a, like sitting there waiting for the train probably would not have been that memorable, because I've waited for several trains in my life, but that moment, like waiting for the train and the sea and the people like milling about, would kind of just probably pass through my brain unless I had been listening to that soundtrack. Like the fact that I linked those two together, and it's like it comes up a lot where I'm just like, that was so cool. Like I love those. I'll probably be filling this with a few more of those, like, because there are so many. That's big for me. That's actually a big part of who I am, is like linking music with moments. And it's actually a big reason why I got into making music, was because I wanted to do that for other people, was like give them like a soundtrack to moments and situations where it like elevates the scene kind of. But yeah, I'll probably be expounding on a few of those just because I don't know, it's cool. And if you have any of those moments and soundtracks, feel free to let me know and let's talk about them, because I would love that. And we can maybe listen to a few of the songs and kind of pick each other's brains. But yeah, Dear John, and that storyline, no spoilers, but that storyline with his dad like kills me. I remember I read the book first. It was I think I was in college and I read it, and the book is so much sadder, as most books are, but that one, I cried that entire night after I read some, like, a part in that book. Like, it just kills. Oh, just the storyline of, like, having, like, okay, if, let's be real, that movie came out, 15 years ago? So, at this point, is it a spoiler? If you don't want this spoiled, mute this next 3 minutes, okay? But essentially, John has a dad who is maybe autistic or on the spectrum somehow, and growing up, he never could connect with his dad, right? And his dad, he like started to feel animosity toward him because he wasn't like his like other dads, and but to him it was also just his dad, right? It's all he knew. So they like butt heads a lot, and they don't connect on any other level than just, he's there, I'm here, which is heartbreaking in its own right. Just like to think about people not connecting, like people, like family members not connecting, even if they want to connect and they just can't. Like, that's so sad. But then, like, John goes to the military, and his dad, like, he comes back and sees him every once in a while, but they're not really close. And when he meets Savannah, the girl he's into, she's kind of like a bridge between the two, right? And he starts kind of seeing his dad in different ways other than, their relationship, which is, I really like how it's done. But anyways, his dad gets sick, and there's something to be said about lost time that is heartbreaking. Like, that's probably what, like, is one of the saddest things to me, that, like, I probably, like, the main source of my tears of, like, any kind of maybe a death in the family or like those kind of situations is just like the lost time that, like, I imagine. Like, for example, I remember so my uncle lost his wife when I was pretty young. I mean, they were pretty young. I mean, I don't even remember what the exact situation was, but I think they were young, like, not terribly young, but still maybe 40 or 50, like somewhere around there. I think mid 40s. They've been together quite a while, but still, it was like my aunt was young when she passed from cancer. It was, I want to say like mid 40s. Like, when you're still like, I'm gonna be mid 40s in a decade. But the thing, it was sad losing her, but like the saddest part for me now, like 15 years removed, is the lost time. Like, just thinking they never got these 15, 20 years to spend together. All these experiences, all these, grandkids being born, families, like new members of the family, new holidays, new, like, new songs to listen to, new movies to watch, new books to read, new conversations to have, like all these missed experiences and lost time because like she passed. Like that is so heartbreaking to me. Like the the it's just so sad. Like that, it's such a sad concept. Like, and that's why I think, I don't know, we're getting heavy. We're getting heavy on a Thursday evening. I didn't mean to get so heavy right away. Like, well, yeah, I did. It's Thursday evening, man. We can talk about whatever we want. We're gonna go where these conversations lead. We started talking about The Conjuring, and now we're talking about death. So I guess that's a normal leap, right? But like, I honestly, maybe, and that's probably a selfish take on death, because it's like the person who died isn't gonna Nashville, come here. The person who died isn't gonna feel it, right? It's always the person who's left still here that deals with it. But I just remember feeling so sad for my uncle, because like he loved this woman so much, like probably more than he loved himself, and now she's gone. And there's so much that comes with that. Like, I don't even begin to imagine what he went through. But like, for me as an outside looking in the situation, or like tangentially to the situation, is like, dang. Like, just birthdays and Christmases and 4th of Julys and fall evenings that he doesn't get to spend with her anymore. Like, they don't get to like have that. Like, I remember one of my favorite memories of all time was, I was maybe 5 or 6, maybe even a little older, but they came over. My uncle and aunt came over and visited around the holidays, and I remember my aunt was wearing this like really fuzzy like white sweater, and it was really soft. And so when she hugged me, like I was like it was like I was wrapped in a little cocoon. And she was always so sweet and kind. And I remember they got us a few presents for Christmas, and we were allowed to open them like the day they came, even though it wasn't Christmas yet or something. And I remember it just being so warm. Like, she was like such a warm person. And it was like, when she passed, like years later, I remember one night I just started getting stuck on this, like, just thought of like, he'll never have that. Like, that won't be a thing anymore. Like, those cozy embraces from her won't be a thing. And like, he won't have that hand to hold. He won't have that voice to listen to. He won't have, her to cuddle up to like at night anymore. Like, forever, for the rest of his life. Like, that's so sad. But anyways, that's how I feel when I read the Dear John, because something similar happens with his dad. And it's like, dang, all that lost time, all that time you spent fighting when you were a teenager and when you were a young adult, and like just not seeing eye to eye, not being able to connect, like, and then it's just gone. Like, I can't imagine the regret that comes with that, and just the sadness, just the pure sadness, because it's like, it don't come back. You don't get that back. And you can't go back. And that's the thing that keeps me up at night sometimes. It's just thinking, like, not living in the past, but just realizing you can't go back. When things are done, they're done, and when people are gone, they're gone. So it always just kind of reminds me, like, enjoy what you have now. Enjoy the people in your life. Tell them you love them. Hug them, hold them. If you guys aren't the type to tell each other you love them, show that you love them in other ways. Text them, show up for them. Go to that event that they've been excited to. Take them out to a concert that they've been wanting to see. Buy them that dinner that you always said you'd make time for, but you haven't because the kids are still young. Take that trip that you've always been talking about, but you've been too busy or worried about, having a sitter, or like, just do the things, because you can't get the time back. You just can't. But so yeah, I like Dear John. Dear John is definitely the second. It goes The Notebook way up at the top. Dear John, probably The Lucky One. The thing I also love about his movies and his books are they're set in the South. Like that Charleston vibe in Dear John. That's a big reason why I'm down in North Carolina. It's like that's a big reason why I even visited Charleston, was because I saw that and I was like, oh, that looks like a place I'd be. Even if it wasn't even shot in majority of Charleston, like just knowing that that's what people think it is, like that's enough for me. Like just to know that, that could be what Charleston's like. I'm down. Which, by the way, Charleston is amazing. If you haven't been to Charleston, go check it out. If you've always been curious, check it out. It's such a good spot. Like, I would move there if it wasn't so gosh dang expensive. Because it's some of the coolest people, some of the most, like, the best food. The beaches nearby, amazing. It just has that really good, like, warm coastal vibe to it. But The Lucky One, we're going to make this list. We're going to get this list figured out. Then probably A Walk to Remember, because that one's just nostalgic. Like, I love that first little bit, sucks you in when they're at the water tower or whatever, and he jumps off, like, and they're running from the cops, and then you just get sucked in, boy. That's one that, like, all the other ones I almost have to be like in a mood for, but if A Walk to Remember is on, if it's on TV, whatever it is, and they play that first little bit, oh, I'm done. I know what I'm doing for the next hour and a half. Like, I'm watching this girl get real sick, because there ain't no turn back. Like, I'm in it. I love that one. And then after A Walk to Remember, probably The Best of Me. I don't know how many people have seen that one. That one was also like a kind of under the radar one. But that one, low key, that's a good one. It's interesting. It takes place in 2 time periods, but both sets of actors that like do the older couple and the younger couple, really good. And it's just a warm vibe too. It's just like really just wholesome. Then after The Best of Me, probably The Choice, because I love Teresa Palmer. She's from Australia. I feel like I'm forgetting some big ones too that might be interspersed in those, but I don't know. It's getting late. And it's Thursday. I was gonna drink, but A, I'm tired. B, I think I mentioned before, but I'm not the biggest drinker. I don't drink much anymore. Not that I did before, but I just don't. The older I get, the more I realize I don't like the feeling after I drink, like the next morning. Like, my body feels sluggish. My mind feels like spacey. I do end up sleeping better usually, but it's not worth like that lethargic feeling in the morning. And that's after like one beer. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a lightweight these days. Like, not growing up, but like in my like younger 20s, so my 20s, I was like exploring all of, like, I was really into wine, not so much into beer, but like I was into like trying different things just to see what I liked, and it was fun. But then somewhere about 26, 27, I started like started veering away from wine, and I started trying more beers, and beer's alright. Like, I like Blue Moon, but other than it's like, and I like some. My buddy KB showed me this one down here. It's called Red Oak, and that's really good. But it's like I don't drink enough. I don't like. I have maybe one beer a month, and that's it. Maybe a little sip of like a little like a, what do they call them, a thumb, a finger, one finger, 2 fingers of. That's a lot. 2 fingers of gin or amaretto, like a month maybe. That's it. So like, I'm a lightweight. I'm a cheap drunk for sure. Like, if I go out to drink, I'm having half of one, and then I'm be sipping water. Like, I'll be pretending to drink that, but like, if you really focus, it's not gonna be gone by the end of the night. Yeah. I hate the next day. I hate waking up and just feeling that, like, it just affects me different now that I'm getting older. Getting older is weird. That's real weird. I'm 31. Still developing crushes from dreams. You think that ever goes away? Like, you think once I hit like 50, I'll stop having dreams about people in life and having crushes on them? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'll be 80 and I'll still be having these dreams. Probably. That's kind of interesting to think about. Maybe that'll be like my Betty White face. Maybe I'll start dreaming about Betty White. I don't know. Nicholas Sparks, put more color in your movies. That's a hot take. That's a takeaway from today. We need more color in these rom-coms. I mean, vanilla's okay, but you don't want vanilla every single day, right? It's like, throw some chocolate in there. Throw some strawberry in there. Throw some mint in there. It's going to be just as good, if not better. Let's see. Where we at? Okay, not bad. It's almost midnight over here, so I'm probably gonna call it for the day. What did we learn today? I'm a lightweight. Scary movies give me nightmares. Patrick Wilson is pretty much the GOAT of scary movies. That's it. Those 3 things. That's a pretty good day. I've learned much less in a day. So, I mean, that's a good start. That's a good Thursday evening in my book. And we just shot the breeze. We just talked about whatever. Like, that's the thing I love, is just letting it go wherever it wants to go. I think I'm going to do these more often, these just chattings. Just because don't get me wrong, I love themes and I love having like a structure and a focus and like something to kind of hone in on, and it makes it interesting. But I also like just letting my brain work like it works. You know, I can't tell you how many times I'll be driving down the road and like I'll be thinking of one thing, and then that'll lead me to just some completely different thing. And I'm sure you could be the same way. And it's just like eventually you're decades past and just on some completely different subject than when you started your drive 15 minutes ago, right? But that's where the interesting connections come from, in my opinion. That's where, you know, I mean, maybe someone will find it annoying that like we're jumping around all over the place. But for me, and if that's the case, you know, I'm sorry, but that's what this is, because that's what's interesting to me. You know, I like off the wall. I like things that maybe you can see the connection between the conversations. Maybe you can't. Maybe, you know, maybe you were there already. Maybe you got there before me. Maybe you were doing something else. Maybe, but it's just kind of cool to see how it evolves, and you know how you start with talking about your day to go into scary movies and dreams, and to go into Italy and death, and you know the love of your aunt, and then back to Nicholas Sparks movies, and then you know it's just like cool to kind of map it out and see where it goes. So I want to do more of these, like the just chattings where we're just kind of talking about whatever. And obviously feel free to leave comments or chats, and kind of direct us towards something, or if there's something on your mind we can talk about. That's always fun. But yeah, so I'm thinking probably Saturday. We'll do this again. Saturday seems like a cool vibe to, I don't know, probably do some piano that day, do some reading, probably be in a good headspace. So maybe I'll be less tired. I'll stop yawning, or yawn less, I guess. But yeah, let's do Saturday, maybe a little bit earlier. So be on the lookout for that. I'm guessing like maybe between 5 and 9 Eastern. So that's probably what, 4 to 8 Central. And then Pacific time, y'all doing your own thing. Y'all, those mountains throw you off, I think, because y'all always do the weird ones. Y'all always like, when we're watching like the end of a football game, we get the local news, but you always accept the West Coast. Like, what are y'all doing on the West Coast? What's your time machines? Like, y'all different. Y'all, it just feels like you always got so much sun. I mean, I know it's relative, but what do y'all be doing for those extra 3 hours? Maybe that's why y'all so tan. Just get all that sun, that late sun. Anyways, like, what's that like? Y'all watch like the things that come on at 7 or 8 o'clock out here, like basketball games. Y'all get those at 4. So you're telling me you're not even off work yet, and like a NBA game is starting? That's so weird to me, because for me, I get home, I cook dinner, and right about when I finish eating dinner is like maybe 7:30, and it's like prime time. Like, you can cut on a basketball game and watch it. But you're saying it's on at 4 p.m.? Like, so you missed the first half probably by the time you get home. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. But then again, nobody really likes the West Coast teams anyway. Who wants to root for the Lakers or the Clippers or the Kings? Although shout out to the Kings for making the playoffs. Good job, y'all. Y'all got Keegan Murray. He's an Iowa player. So you're welcome. But like Portland, who else y'all got out there? Golden State. Why y'all? And that's another thing. It works the other way. When Golden State starts playing their basketball, that's like 7 o'clock your time, right? But for us, that's like 2 a.m., bruh. I don't care how good Steph Curry is. I ain't trying to watch nobody shoot 3-pointers at 2 a.m. Nah, I ain't about that. Nothing's exciting at 2 a.m. The back of my eyelids are exciting at 2 a.m. I ain't trying to watch no jumpers. Nothing physically, no physical activity should be entering my eyeballs. Apart from, bedroom time. After midnight. But Golden State wants to play freaking 3 entire quarters after midnight. What's that about? You know how many times I've had to cut off a TNT Golden State game because it's like, bro, if I don't go to sleep now, I'm going to get like 3 hours of sleep. Is it worth it? To watch Andre Iguodala score 12 points. Draymond Green scored 9 points. I'm talking about basketball. I'm gonna have a basketball day because that's one thing I really love is I love the NBA. Not so much college, but I love the drama of the NBA and like the characters and the fashion and all that, like that world. So one of these days we'll have a NBA session and we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll do it for like the playoffs because the playoffs are coming up. So if you're not into sports, maybe skip that one. But no, it'll be fun because I'll, me, I like to clown, so I'll clown everybody. I'll clown them all. I don't care. But yeah, be on the lookout for Saturday. Also, I can tell my voice is getting a little. Excuse me. My voice is getting a little tired. You can tell it's getting a little bit raspy. It's ready for bed. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for unwinding. Hopefully you're cozy and you're safe wherever you're at. Maybe wrap up in that blanket. Cozy up to whoever you're with, or if you got a pup or a cat or whatever you got, give them an extra little pet, a little squeeze. Get cozy. Don't forget to blow out that candle. Hopefully tomorrow's Friday, so hopefully you got a easy day at work planned, and you just kind of can either put on some music or a podcast or whatever you're into, and just make it to make it a good day. Tomorrow, the last day of March. Yeah, we'll make it a good day. Hopefully it's a nice one. But yeah, catch me again Saturday, except on the West Coast. Just kidding. Thank you for joining me. I'll see y'all next time. Sleep well. Dream of your crushes. Wake up in love.